our last attendee. I'm not going to call anybody's name out, even if Chad Torrey was a bit late. But
No, it's not Chad Torrey. It's Ben Mushkin.
oh,
It's his fault. So I
oh,
apologize.
okay, my mistake. See, should have kept my mouth shut. I can't help myself. Um, all right, so we're gonna do a status conference here in docket number 2023-337S. Sort of we little more formal. We do have a court reporter there. Can you see on your screen that there's Miss Joe Wheat there ahead of me?
We can. Hello, Joe.
Good. And we also have in this room the chief clerk and executive director and our fearless leader, Jocelyn Boyd. She's in here with us. I don't know if we probably can't see her, but she's here. She's looking great. So anyway, we're doing this proceeding. Well, before I go on to that, actually, let me go ahead and take, to some extent, let's say, appearances for the company, Blue Granite Water Company. Do we have Charlie Tarini?
Yes, you do.
Oh, fantastic. Good to see you, Charlie. For the South Carolina Department of Consumer Affairs, we've got Roger Hall, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and Jake Edmonds.
And Jake Edwards. All right, good to see you both. I see there's a little, I don't know, is that an error message or something under Jake Edwards? Can he hear me? Is he able to participate? Oh, I guess all of them have it, the unverified. I guess that's not a big deal then, huh?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good. Good. And then South Carolina Office of Regulatory Staff, who do we have there?
Ben Mushkin, and I think Chad may be on the line as well.
Okay, very good. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you for coming, in a sense, you know, very metaphorical. So, this status conference is pursuant to Commission Order number 2024-474. The language of that order is thus that the Commission directs Commission staff, in this case me, to hold a status conference in this matter and follow up on the company's ability to obtain water usage data for its sewer service customers to facilitate volumetric sewer billing, as well as cost to install flow meters. Now, I do understand, Charlie, that there was a substitution of counsel and you're in, and I've sort of operated on the assumption that you've been provided all case files and details and all that stuff. But if I ask something that, you know, maybe we need to have a follow-up because of the timeliness of that, you know, I understand and appreciate that, okay?
Thank you.
All right. So let me start with by asking or stating and then asking. I think that the company, and by company I do of course mean Blue Granite Water Company, that they had there was a report filed with the commission on or about February 16th, I think, 2024, in which the company went through effectively refiled a 2020 report with 2024 updates as to the discussions and negotiated or quoted, I suppose, costs for different unregulated utilities that are providing water services to different areas of service under Blue Granite Water System. Generally, these are places, I think, where Blue Granite is providing sewer service only, but the water service is provided by unregulated utilities. So there was this report filed with updates to 2024. And my first question, if I might ask you, Mr. Tarini, is do you have updates for the commission, or would you be willing to provide updates related to those quoted expenses or discussions? I think there were certain organizations with which the company was still having discussions when that report was filed. So do you have any updates or are willing to provide updates to that February 16th report?
I don't have any updates today. If we have updates, I'm sure the company's willing to provide them. Are you asking as to all of the companies or as to Fairwood?
I think that the report was not limited to Fairwood subdivision. I think it would probably be most appropriate to keep it as a whole report rather than to limit it to the Fairwood subdivision specifically. But of course, given the nature of this discussion, you know, my interest is primarily in the Fairwood subdivision, mind you, but I do think it would be helpful to have that as a whole instrument rather than narrowed only for the Fairwoods subdivision.
We can update we can certainly update the report for you. The Fairwood discussions have probably run their course in that we have a proposal from Fairwood. We reported it, and I don't think there's nothing that's changed there. I mean, they quoted rates for they quoted charges for providing the data. We think those charges just on their face show that it's probably not feasible. It's not going to provide any relief to any of the customers in Fairwood if we were to go to volumetric data. So I'm not sure there's anything to update on that front, but we certainly can update the rest of the report.
Yeah, I think I appreciate that. I think I appreciate that, which does which does provide a good segue to sort of another question I have really, which is I think what you said was said in that report pretty well. Okay, yeah. I'd agree that was said. Now, for the residents of the Fairwood subdivision, you know, how was that communicated to them? Like, did they get I mean, I don't know. I'm asking the question, right? This is coming from simply a data perspective, an information request, I guess. You know, were they provided access to, or you know, or a copy of the report, or anything like that? I mean, was this information communicated to those residents in any way, or do we know at this time?
I'm pretty sure, and I'll certainly correct it if I'm wrong, but the report would have been provided to, I believe it was the 7 complaining, it was really 14, but it was 7 couples who complained in the docket. We filed, the commission asked us to file an updated report. That's what we did. I'm almost certain it was not mailed to 177 customers.
All right.
So there's nothing more than having filed the report in the docket that I'm aware of.
Okay. And I suspected as much, but I did want to confirm that. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
In that report, at the beginning of it or so, I would, if my recollection serves, probably in the first page or page and a half,
Mm-hmm.
it is what sort of amounts to what I would consider to be an executive summary. I mean, I don't know that it's delineated as such, but it's sort of a summary presentation of information, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you agree, right? I mean, I don't think I'm off base.
Yeah.
Maybe
Sure.
I misremember it. So,
no, I think you got
it. Would it be feasible? And again, you do say that there's. You remind me, we have 7. Was it 7 named couples? Was what it was, I think. Yeah. And
right.
So, would it be feasible if the report? How do I say this? I understood the report of the company very well. I suspect everybody on this call understood the report of the company very well. Would it be something worth considering that the information contained in that, what I'm going to say, executive summary or prefatory portion, be drafted in a sense, in a manner that could be at a newspaper level understanding? Do you get what I'm saying?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Is it possible that the company, or would the company be willing to draft a summary, and I'm not talking about a very long document, okay, a very short document, written in very plain English to understand, or rather further elucidate without perhaps using that word, the financial difficulty and the operational difficulty of and sort of inviability of going to a volumetric rate. Is that something the company could do and maybe be willing to provide? And I'm not making that formal request of you, strictly speaking, but is that something that could be done and provided to these ratepayers that might be more easily understood than the larger and I think factually and technically correct report that was produced?
I think so.
All right.
I'm glad to confirm it with the company, but I'm sure.
Right. And I'm not looking for a firm commitment necessarily, Mr. Tree. I'm just.
Yeah, I don't have any reason to think they wouldn't want to do that.
All right. Very good, sir. Thank you for that. Let's see.
May I suggest focusing that summary on Fairwood?
Yeah, I think that would be prudent.
That's what they're worried about, right?
Yeah, I think that would be prudent. I think that certainly in this docket, the interest, once we get a little farther away from the report as a whole instrument, is certainly focused on the the ratepayers in the Fairwood subdivision. I think we are of a mind on that. Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Just one moment. Let me make sure I don't have anything written down here. You know, I get forgetful sometimes.
Me too.
I think that really covers all the things that I had an interest in, or wanted to inquire about, and all that at this time. Do you all have anything for me? You know, this is always an opportunity for bidirectional, communication being permissible. But is there anything else that I can provide to you at this time? And if you want to follow up by email, we can do that. I mean, obviously.
No. I appreciate the opportunity, and I think it's useful. So if we prepare this summary, what would the next step be? To send it to the commission for review, or how would you like to proceed? I
think that would be very helpful. And again, I want to emphasize that I don't anticipate this being a very I anticipate a succinct, okay, I think we're
something readable, something understandable that says, hey, it's going to cost, it was $20 per customer per month.
Yes, I recall. I think that producing that or filing that with the commission for its review would probably be a good next step.
Before it goes out?
Yes, I think that would be prudent. And of course, I would welcome, and I'm sure the commission would also welcome, the review of ORS and DCA as well as to the content of that. I don't predict that we're seeing anything here that has any advocacy in it or anything of that nature. It's really just informative. Okay.
And I'll share it with them, of course, before we file it. And they can agree or disagree, but it won't be the first time they've seen it.
Yeah, right.
And when would you have a time period in mind?
Well, I suppose I would like you to tell me how long you need. How about that?
How about 30 days?
30 days? Okay. That sounds good to me. I understanding that that's for receipt of a draft, right? And
yeah,
and
right.
You've got to go back to your client and make sure to have all that vetted. Okay.
Sure.
Very good.
Yeah, I think we can do that. If for some reason there's a time issue, I'll let you know. But I would, given what you're asking for, I think that can be done in 30 days. And so, is it your sense that's kind of what the commission's looking for in this, or
I think the commission. I'm sorry.
I guess my client was going to ask me, okay, where are we going with this?
Right.
Are we going to have a hearing, or are we going to...
I do not believe... I think at this point, that what the interest of the commission is for, you know, an update on the existing report. It's now, you know, got a little age on it, 6 months or so.
Yeah,
And
sure.
then the newly drafted language for informational purposes for the residents of the Fairwood subdivision, I think is probably the key points of interest at this time.
Okay, so we have two deliverables, that summary for the Fairwood residents and an update on the existing report.
Yeah,
With
now
the
the
update on the existing report, could we have 60 for that maybe?
Yeah, let's say 60. We'll do. Yeah, let's do 60 days on that, and we'll keep lines of communication open. Okay, if there are timing issues, please let us know. You know, file them with us. Talk to me. Okay, and
Yes,
I'm sure
sir.
we can resolve
Yeah,
that.
we've just got, they've got a lot going on with the merger, and 60, I think, would be helpful for the overall report, but we can get, I know these people in Fairwood would like to hear from us, so we can get that done in 30.
Okay, I appreciate
Confident.
that, and I expect that the report is largely a matter of. It's more narrow than all that. You know, there are really just some updates, I think, is probably
Yes,
as a pragmatic, you know, consideration what we're going to get. So, all right. So we'll do 30 days for the drafted language there. And I'm going to follow up with an email to you all to sort of memorialize
Okay.
this. Does that suit you all?
Yeah.
I know I haven't heard much from
No
ORS and DCA, but are you all in agreement here with the things that we've discussed, or would you like to weigh in for differences of opinion?
No, that sounds like a reasonable request and for Blue Granite to provide the update, and appreciate you providing a summary of this call afterwards.
Yep, same for ORF.
All right, very good. All right, anything else, Charlie, that you want to discuss, or anything?
I'm good. We
Okay.
appreciate this status conference, very useful.
All right, very good, sir. Let me just take one moment and make sure that I've got the green light from the highest powers in the from the highest powers in the area. Hold on one moment, please. All right, I've gotten a green light and a thumbs up, and for which I'm very thankful. And all right, I think that we are done here. I will send an email with these dates and sort of summarizing what the expectation is, and they'll be in line with what we've discussed. I assure you. And
Good.
there we have it. If there is nothing else, I think we can end this call. Last call for information. Here it is.
Thank you, Mr. Stark.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate your time. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thanks.